Audio Jungle.
Hello YouTube, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk about laptops. In particular, the debate between Apple, Mac and Windows machines. Which one is right for you? I think there's a big comparison to be made between the two technologies, both of them very capable of doing a lot of what you need to do. For example, traditionally, Apple has been more of a designer's machine, something that people use if they're in the design industry, photographic industry, videography industry. However, Windows machines with all their horsepower are more than capable of achieving what Apple Macs can do. In fact, there's probably more powerful Windows machines out there than Apple machines. However, Apple introduced something called the M processor. And from the M1, it is pretty much gained leaps and bounds in how it actually works. So with it being an ARM processor, it does perform more efficiently. Battery life is extended quite substantially. So if you're one of those people that travels a lot or it doesn't necessarily always have access to power slots, the M series processors from Apple may be the way to go. Personally, myself, for work, and I work in information technology, I run a HP i7, 32 gig RAM, etc., etc. It's a very powerful machine. It gets the job done. However, battery life is 2 to 3 hours, at best 2 to 3 hours. So I also make use of a second private machine of my own, which I have company permission to onboard, and that is a Apple MacBook Air M3 16 gig RAM, half a terabyte storage. That machine over there is next level. Battery life is next level. Everything about it is, I actually find that I'm using that machine more than I use the Windows machine because everything is there. Battery life is great. It's compact. It's small. You can move around easily. Yeah, it's great. I absolutely love it. Get the right accessories for it, and you're good to go. It can pretty much replace your Windows machine without any effort. So again, Windows, Mac, which one do you want to choose? So at the end of the day, I think it's a personal preference thing. If you're a developer and you like Linux, maybe Mac is the way to go. If you've never tried Mac, I suggest you do give it a go. It's a very capable machine. Great battery life, like I said. Everything about it is just amazing. They're really, really awesome machines. Let's talk about the issue in the room with parts upgradability, etc. on Apple. So just the next step for me, I think let's talk about the pros and cons between Apple and Windows machines particularly. So for me, let's start with the Apple Macs, pros versus cons. I am reading some reference material that I've written down, so I will be peering off to the side from time to time. So one of the pros for me is user experience on the Apple Mac. The Mac OS is known for its intuitivity. Is that even a word? It's a very intuitive operating system. It's very user friendly. It's easy to use. You can find what you need to find very easily without needing a degree in computer science to operate the machine. If you want to get deep dive into the Mac OS, of course, you can drop down to the prompt, and of course, you have a full Linux-based operating system down there, but that's for another discussion. The ecosystem. Okay, so if you're using an Apple cell phone and you're using an iPad, iPhone, iPad, and all those technologies, the ecosystem combines very well together, meaning you take pictures on your phone, they're immediately available on your laptop. For you to be able to go and check out or post, share, whatever you want to do with your pictures. So I think that is, for me, one of the biggest pluses of the ecosystem. Security. So as you all know, iPhones, Apples are known for their tighter security controls, especially like the iPhone, for example. It has a very sandboxed environment, meaning that it does have a more secure environment. It's not easy for you to download things off the phone, for example. It is a more secure device. Also, you will find that Apple laptops particularly are slightly less prone to viruses and stuff like that. I'm not saying they're not. You do get viruses, but there's less of them. Windows there's a lot more out there, let's just say. Performance. So let's talk about performance as one of the pros for Apple. Apple designed the M series chips. Those things are ridiculously efficient and powerful. They are ARM-based reduced instruction set CPUs, meaning they're a lot more efficient at getting things done. They're great. I absolutely enjoy using them. They offer excellent performance. And there's one big bonus with the M series heat. You'll find there's no cooling fans or anything like that on any of those M series chips because they don't run as hot. Think of your cell phones. They run ARM-based processing. They're running 3 gig processors, some of them. You don't see them getting, well, they get warm when you're charging them and when you're heavy gaming and stuff, but nothing ridiculous. My point being, you're getting the same sort of level of power with more efficiency, meaning less heat. That's great. So, durability. Let's talk about the difference. You'll find a lot of gaming machines, high-end Windows machines, 2 to 3 years, you start picking up issues with them. I'm not saying all. This is not a generalization, but it's just my experience with many machines over the years. You do tend to, after 2-3 years, start picking up issues. The Apples do tend to go 5 to 10 years, sometimes even longer, without any issues on the hardware. They just get the work done. They do tend to have a recorded longer lifespan than the comparative Windows PCs. Just saying. Some of the cons. Okay, cost. Apple's extremely expensive in comparison. But here's the but. There's a caveat to that. People say they're extremely expensive, but if you were to buy a really good Windows machine, you would be paying up in the 20 to 30,000 Rand plus price tag. So are they really more expensive? I don't know. It's a debate that goes on and on and on. I don't feel they are, but some people do. So customization. Okay, so it's particularly on the newer series Apples. Customization of hardware is extremely difficult. So replacing RAM chips, replacing SSDs, etc. Most of it is soldered to board, meaning you cannot touch it. The older machines you could, the newer machines less so. So customization is a bit of an issue. Software compatibility sometimes comes up as an issue. Some software, particularly games. So if you're a gamer, Apple's not the way to go. But if you are anything else almost, office worker, if you are office worker, maybe a bit overkill for you, but you know what? It'll do everything you need it to do. If you're a graphics designer, I would go with an Apple. If you're wanting to do video editing, I would go with the Apple. It does the job great. Look, you do it on the Windows machine, but you need more Windows machine to be able to horsepower through video editing. Just saying. So software compatibility, there may not be software available for the Mac, especially if you're used to a certain set of applications that you use on Windows. That can become a problem. Repair. Here's another one. Repairing an Apple can become extremely expensive and complex, much more complex than a Windows machine. So with a Mac, if something goes wrong, you may have to replace an entire motherboard. With a Windows laptop, you can probably replace the faulty component. It does make it a little bit easier. So another big con for Apple, as mentioned, games. No. Macs generally have limited gaming options. There are some games available for them, and more are becoming available. But you will get a lot more games for Windows, and you'll find most of the games are optimized for Windows machines. So let's talk about Windows PCs or laptops for that matter. So pros and cons. So pros, wide variety of hardware. Windows machines, you can get a massive amount of hardware available out there. Companies in South Africa like Eve Tech, you can go online, take a look, order components, upgrade your machine all the time, put new graphics cards, put new RAM chips, put whatever you like into them. That's great. So you have a lot of customization. You can even choose how your case looks. Yes, Apple, you can choose what color you want, but you cannot get a fancy computer case and do what you want to do. And do heavy customization, cable management. There's something about building a gaming PC that just stands out. Just saying. Software compatibility. Windows PCs are generally, most software is written for Windows, so you'll find a lot of software available for you. That's one of the pros. Another pro, which goes back to a wide variety of hardware, is customization. You can customize your machine to your exact needs. So if you want 64 gig of RAM, with an i9 processor, 12 cores, whatever you like. You can customize it to your exact spec. And most of the time within the same generation, you can change out the processors or upgrade the RAM, whatever you like to do to give yourself more capability. Gaming, PCs, they win on gaming, hands down. No questions from my side. If you're a gamer, you need a Windows machine because most of the games and titles are available on Windows. Hardware customization allows you to build an extremely powerful machine for gaming, if that's what your niche is. Oh, no debate from me. Cost. Windows machines, way cheaper than Apple's for a general everyday day-to-day machine. They're great. They get the work done. No issues at all with that. Repair easily. You can jump in. You can replace components that are missing. Whatever you need to do. It's very easy. It's very simple. Accessibility. PCs are more accessible and more available. Hardware is more available. If you go to secondhand markets, you'll see tons of machines available on those secondhand markets, which you can just pick them up, start using them off the bat, and you're good to go. So that's great. Absolutely awesome. So let's move over to the cons of Windows machines. Security. Windows PCs are more vulnerable to malware and viruses because there's far more of them. Far more so than on an Apple Mac, for example. However, if you're one of those PC users that runs Ubuntu Linux, good on you. You're probably a lot more secure. User experience. It's a con for me. Windows interface customization can be more complex for beginners. It's difficult to make it yours, to make it easy. And I don't know, there's just something for me where the user experience is nowhere near as good as on an Apple. Software bloatware. This is a big issue. Many PCs come pre-installed with a whole bunch of crap on them that you don't really need. Get rid of all that bloatware if you can. But why do they do that? I don't know. It's probably a manufacturer thing. I would suggest just cleaning it off, starting afresh, and only installing the applications that you need. Less integrated ecosystem. So PC, look, it's gotten better. You can get integrations into iCloud. You can get integrations into Android, for example, on Windows now, especially with Windows 11. However, it is still less integrated, meaning it's not so cohesive. It just doesn't work quite as well as the iCloud Apple solution. That's just my 10 cents on it, okay? Some people may debate it. That's my experience, having used both and using both day to day. So in conclusion, the better choice between Mac and a Windows PC depends on the individual. So what are your needs? What are your preferences? What are you wanting to do with it? That, I think, is the deciding factor, whether you should go with a Windows machine or whether you should go with an Apple machine. If you're wanting ease of use, seamless integration, security priorities, the Mac may be the better fit for you. However, if you're a gamer and you want to be able to customize your PC and do sorts of crazy different things with it, then the Windows machine may be the machine for you. Let me know your thoughts. Which machine do you run with and which one do you prefer? Those of you out there who have used both, I'd love to hear from you guys and hear what you have to say about it. I'm going to be doing a review on the MacBook Air M3 16 gig for this channel. So let's have a look at that and see how that machine stacks up against all the other options out there. Guys, I want to just say thank you for watching the video. Many, many more tech reviews coming soon. Some high level, actually. So if you're a high level person who likes to see what a Surface firewall does, how it works, hit that subscribe button because I'm going to be showing you guys how to do fancy things on firewalls, routing, all sorts of crazy stuff. Cheers for now, everybody, and have a great week.